Yeah, okay. Review of matrices is the next video, and I'm trying to make it quick because it's hot and I need to swim, and my show's just coming on TV. So, I've got everything pre-written. Okay, a lot of this stuff is just a repeat, although you should pay attention at the beginning, and then the very last question I'm going to do is something you probably haven't seen before, so pay close attention to that one, okay? So, a matrix, just some of the basics, okay? Here we have some game stats, okay? Two teams, the Avengers, the Barracudas, and this is the number of games that played, wins, draws, and losses. So, of course, a nice table like that is a perfect sort of matrix to look at, okay? We can write that as a matrix. So, and a typical matrix multiplication problem would go like this. If you were trying to determine how many points each team got, so you have to figure out how many points playing a game is worth, winning a game is worth, and so on. So two people, James, he says 1 point for playing a game, 3 points for a win, etc. Okay, Daniel, he has another plan. 0 points for playing, 2 points for a win, etc. Okay, so we're going to make a matrix for this and figure out the total points. So let's do that. Okay, so this point thing, we've really got two choices of matrix ways to represent that matrix. We can either do it that first way or that second way. So hopefully you would recall that if we're going to times these, we need to match up the rows and the columns, so we're going to need the second option here, that one. Okay, so if we need to multiply these together, we're going to have to do 6, 3, let's do this one, 6, 3, 2, 1, what was it? 5, 2, 3, 0. And we times it by 1, 3, 1, 0, 0, 2, 1, minus 1. Anyway, if you do all that, remember, anyway, I go over multiplying later in this, so I'll just tell you the answer, which I'm just going to cheat and see what the book goes. Oh, damn, I lost the page. Pause. Okay, so if you multiply these together, you get this, okay? First row is Avengers, and second one is the Barracudas, and of course, this is James scoring versus Daniel. Alright, so you can see with James' scoring system, the Avengers come out ahead. With Daniel, they're tied. So anyway, on to okay, some matrix notation here, which I don't know that I showed you last year, but if we have an m by n matrix, often we can represent this matrix little letters to represent each element. Okay, so over here we say A with two little numbers next to it, the first number being the row and the second number being the column. Okay, so for example here, the 2 is the row, we're in the second row, 3 is the column. Okay, so all the way down to the very last, if we've got m rows and n columns, that is our very last element, okay, in an m by n matrix. Alright, next one. Okay, so we're on to worked examples from the textbook very quickly. This stuff should be quite familiar. If we've got these two matrices, of course we can add, etc. Okay, so just quickly go through these. Okay, so let's have a look at the first one. 2 times A, we just double every number in A. A plus B, you add each element. For example, you add the 6, you add the 3, and that gives you the 9 up here, and so on. Add the 3, add the minus 1, gives you the 2 here. Alright. C, A minus 3B, the last one, we could work, here's A, we could work out what 3 times B is, and we could just subtract them, okay? 6, take 9, gives us minus 3. etc. Okay, this is nice and quick. Yes. Okay. Multiplication. Worked example 2. Alright, just a quick refresher here. If we're multiplying two matrices, the number of columns in the first matrix must match the number of rows in the second. Okay? So if we have a 2 by 3 matrix and a 3 by 7, this number and this number have to match. This one we can multiply, and we're going to be left with a 2 by 7. Okay, just whatever's left here. The 2 and the 7 are left. Okay, we're left with a 2 by 7 matrix. This one, columns, rows, they don't match, cannot multiply. Okay, so in this example up here, A times B and B times A. Can we do both of those? Well, let's see. A times B. A is a 3 by 3. Okay, rows first, columns second. B is rows first, it's 3 rows by 2 columns. Okay? So A times B we can do. B times A we cannot do. Yeah, this one we cannot do. And just here a little reminder of how we did this multiplication. This first one is the first element, we're going across this way and down this way. Okay, using these numbers and matching up. 2 times 4. On to the next one. 0 times negative 1. And we're plussing each time. And then 1 times minus 2. Okay, so that's 8 plus 0 minus 2. Okay, that's our first element. And so on. The second element, the one next to that, we do the first row times the second column. 2 times 5, 0 times 0, and 1 times 1. Okay, so that's 10 plus 0 plus 1. Okay, and so on. We go on to the second row. Now the second row we do this times the first, and that will give us 16 minus 2 minus 6. Okay, 16 minus 2 minus 6. And so on. Okay, that's how we multiply matrices. Determinant and inverse. If you have a matrix, this is your matrix, A, B, C, D. The determinant, this is how you write the determinant. And it is 1 over AD minus BC. Alright, so the determinant of this one here is going to be 1 over 3 times 5 minus 1 times minus 2. Sorry, it's actually not 1 over. The determinant is just the AD minus BC. So it's 15 plus 2 equals 17. Okay. I always make that mistake for some reason. Okay, if A equals this, and this matrix is singular, find X. Okay. Singular means the determinant is 0. Okay, so the determinant has to be 0. So that means that 1 minus x times x plus 1 minus 2 times minus 4 equals 0. So we've got, what have we got? 1 minus x squared minus 2x plus 8 equals 0. This becomes x squared equals 9, and x equals plus or minus 3. Okay, so you've got two solutions for that one. Inverse of a 2 by 2. Just remember that formula, okay? 1 over the determinant. This is why I always get confused with this 1 over. Swap the A and the D. Make the other two negatives. Okay, so you can pause and look at these examples to practice, and let me go on to the very last, oh wait, no, second last. Okay, this one on a calculator. Just see if you can recall how to do that on a calculator. Find the inverse of a 3 by 3. Okay, we practice those by hand. We're not going to do that anymore. That's just such a pain. So you can just do that on your calculator. Okay, the last one. You know what? Maybe I'll just leave this to class. We're already at 10 minutes. That's enough. We'll finish that in class. Enjoy. Signing off. See you tomorrow.